Today, we're gonna be making these strawberry matcha truffles. They're so delicious. Have a look. Hi guys, welcome back to Bread and Butter. Today we're gonna make something super special, very delicious, and kind of nutritious too. I sometimes read in the comments or questions about how I come up with recipes, and I will explain how today's strawberry truffle came to life. I always have some kind of treats at home because I need a snack or like a quick pick-me-up in the afternoon. My kids love to have a treat when they come back from school and something to keep them full or at least not hungry up until dinner. And on one occasion, I was going to the freezer because that's where I stash my treats. And there was just like this box of frozen strawberries like staring at me. And it was basically yelling, like, how many more months are we gonna freeze here? Use us. So that's one story. And the second story is I'm on this like matcha kick right now. Yes, I'm drinking coffee here, but I'm really loving a coconut matcha at this moment. And then these two stories kind of combined, and I made a strawberry coconut filling, and I bathed it in matcha. And trust me, when you combine these two worlds, it's just fabulous. Let me show you the strawberries that have been staring at me from my freezer. Here they are. They've just been complaining. Pay us some attention. So we're gonna show them some love. Now I have my kitchen scale here. We need 100 grams of strawberries. So we have our strawberries. Now we need some shredded coconut. I buy in bulk because it's cheaper. This is unsweetened. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a spoon of coconut oil, and it's hard, so I'm gonna melt it, and then just blend this with this with this. As always, below in the description, I have the full recipe. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Otherwise, let's get blending. How do you like the flavor?
Really good.
Should we add something?
Yes.
What? Should we bathe them in some matcha afterwards? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Some sprinkles.
And some sprinkles too? Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll do that. We need to put them in the freezer now. Go. They go into the freezer until they go into the freezer until they solidify, and then we're gonna bathe them in chocolate. So we're gonna make a steam bath, which is gonna help us gently melt the chocolate so that nothing burns. Steam bath is something very, very simple, although it sounds a bit complicated. You just need to put some water into a saucepan, find a kind of bowl, and when you place it over the saucepan, you want the bottom of the bowl not to be touching the water. So the idea is we're gonna put this on a stove. The water is gonna start bubbling, and the steam is gonna start heating the bowl. So everything that's inside this bowl is gonna heat up and melt. Today, I'm gonna be using a mix of coconut oil and chocolate. That's like the easy way. I'm just using a very, very basic white chocolate. And let's say for every 100 grams of chocolate, you'll need like 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. Now, ever since I came up with this recipe, I've been making it on repeat at least once a week. So I have some leftover glaze in my fridge. So when you finish bathing the candy in the chocolate, everything that's left over, you will be tempted to just eat it with a spoon. Don't. Save it for the glaze. Just put it in like a jar and keep it in the fridge. So I'm gonna add this to my bowl, melt it all together, incorporate it, and that's the glaze. Now the color, you see it's green. I'm gonna be using matcha because it's a matcha flavored white chocolate. So I have two kinds here, and this is something that I wanted to focus on. Usually you can buy culinary matcha, which is the one that's best for cooking. It's not the most expensive kind, and it has a beautiful, subtle flavor. But I also have this really fancy one, which is called a ceremonial matcha. It is quite expensive, and I don't suggest you use this in cooking because this has a really intense vegetal, kind of like green, some people would say swampy flavor. You don't want this in your cooking. Save it for just a plain matcha that you will drink with water. But for any matcha lattes or cooking, take something a bit more simple. Matcha can be different color, a different shade of green. You see this one, it's a more, let's say, a darker color. It's not that vibrant, it's not so bright. Whereas the ceremonial matcha is quite insane. Let me just show you the color. It's much brighter and much more vibrant. That will just determine, let me show you. I don't want to put it in my hand because it does color everything, but trust me, when I say that it's a more bright green, like a different shade of green. Now, if for some reason in your glaze, if you don't want to use just like store-bought white chocolate, I'll make sure in a different video to show you alternatives of a glaze. For example, using cacao butter and maybe some maple syrup. But today, it's just a simple way. Now this chocolate, white chocolate matcha situation is very, very hot because it's straight off the heat. I'm gonna add maybe a teaspoon more of matcha. Mix that in, and I'm gonna put this in the fridge because I want it to cool down. If we place our frozen filling in this, it's just gonna melt and become a mess. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in the fridge, let it cool down. While it cools down to room temperature, it's gonna harden it, thicken a bit, and then we're gonna introduce them. We're gonna introduce the strawberry filling to this matcha chocolate situation, and trust me, it's a match made in heaven. So everything is almost ready, and now we're gonna begin coating the filling with like the glaze. But I love to decorate my candy just to make them look that much more appealing and cute. And today I'm gonna be using something really cool. I think these are just like dehydrated strawberries or freeze-dried. They kind of tend to keep their shape. They're very crispy, crunchy. They taste delicious. And they have this beautiful, beautiful color. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break them up with my hands, and I'm just gonna sprinkle them on top of every single candy. Now keep in mind, because the candies themselves, the filling is from the freezer, they're freezing cold, and the glaze is room temperature, the minute you take the candy in the chocolate out of it and you just place it on a piece of parchment paper, they're gonna become quite solid very, very fast. So the minute you take one out, and then you decorate on top, and then you continue with the other candies. I'll show you in just a sec. I can't wait to eat one or two or maybe all of them. Guys, if you keep them in the freezer, the filling will be more like ice cream texture. It's gonna be quite solid. If you keep them in the fridge, it's gonna be like melt in your mouth, juicy strawberry, coconutty situation. They're so good. Look how gorgeous they are. Let's just take a minute to appreciate them. The colors are insane. Look at the inside. Mine are from the freezer. So good. I can't. If you're gonna be using white chocolate for the outside with the matcha, please don't add anything sweet to the filling. The strawberries lend a hit of like sweet and sour, but the coating, like the glaze, that's where like the sweet notes, but then you have the matcha bitterness. I think these are so balanced and just so good. These are from the freezer, so the inside is more like a sorbet. I can't, so good. Please try these. One second. Please try these. If you do, don't forget to leave me a comment below and tell me how you feel. How do you like them? Do you want more truffles? What other recipes would you like on my channel? I'm gonna go enjoy this.